Welcome to the second of 4 videos on college entrance exam functions and the types of questions that we will get in them. In the first video, in the previous video, we learned the basic types of function questions, and in this video we're going to be working on the types of questions that you'll find in college entrance exams on evaluating functions. Now these are really common, they appear all the time, and if you can get to grips with it, then they are relatively straightforward. So let's have just a quick review. What is a function and how do we evaluate it? Okay, so we got a box here, and we got an input and we got an output. Now, just bear with me on this. Let's imagine that we have a smiley face, and that is our input, and we are inputting the smiley face into the box, which is our function. And let us imagine that the function turns a smiley face into a smiley face squared add 2, then our output will be a smiley face squared add 2. Okay, now more traditionally people don't use smiley faces in algebra. There's no reason why they can't. They use x. So if we were inputting x, then f would turn x to x squared plus 2, and we would have an output of x squared plus 2. Now finally, let's just imagine that we are inputting a dog plus a stickman into this function. Okay, well, what all this function is going to do is it's going to take whatever we input, and in this case it's a dog plus a stickman. It's going to take it and it's going to turn it into a dog plus a stickman squared add 2. So our output would be a dog plus a stickman squared plus 2. Basically, if you understand this, you can do pretty much all of the questions. The reason why a lot of people get confused with evaluating functions questions is they're okay when you have to input an x and you get an x out, but as soon as you input something other than x, i.e. a dog and a stickman, or a plus b, or a minus 2b, or whatever, they get confused. But all you have to remember is that input there inside the brackets, the function will move that input to that. And as long as we remember that, we can go. So let's go on the questions anyway. So questions 1 through to 3 are basically the most straightforward, and I'll just give you a second to answer those if you wish. Pause the video. Okay, so basically let's have a look. Question 1, f of x equals x squared add 3x add 2. What is f of 5? Okay, well here 5 is the input. Remember, anything inside that bracket is the input, and the function will change the input according to that rule to give you the output. So all we have to do is replace the x by 5. So that would be 5 squared add 3 times 5 add 2, which equals 42. And that is the answer to question 1. Simple as that. Question 2 is very similar. They're asking what is h2 when h of y equals y squared minus 6y add 2. And I've deliberately put y here. You don't need to be confused because it's y. It doesn't matter. It could be a smiley face. It doesn't make any difference. It could be smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. It doesn't make any difference. So what is h of 2? All we have to do is we have to put 2 into our function, and that gives us, so h of 2 is 2 squared minus 6 times 2 add 2, which gives us 4, take away 12, add 2, minus 6. And question 3 is g of x equals 3x add 4. For what x is g of x equal to 5? Okay, well this is slightly different. It's the other way round. What they're saying is that we have to find out when g of x is 5, so we have to put g of x, which you know is 3x add 4. We have to say, okay, when is 3x add 4 equal to 5? And all we have to do is solve that, i.e. 3x equals 1, i.e. x equals a third. So the answer to that is, for what x is gx equal to 5? X equals a third is the x where gx equals 5. Okay, so let's have a look at questions 4 and 5 now. Questions 4 and 5, just pause the video if you wish to do them before I go through them. Okay, so question 4, we now have two functions. We have g of x equals 3x minus 2, and h of x equals sine x plus cos x, and we are asked to calculate 2 times g of 4 minus h of pi over 2. Okay, so all we've got to do is just be a little bit careful. So let's go 2 and let's put g of 4. So all we've got to do is put the number 4 into the function g. So that'll be 2 times 3 times 4 minus 2. That's g of 4. Take away, and we're going to now take away h of pi over 2. Well, h of x is sine x add cos x. So all we have to do is put pi over 2 into this function here, and we're taking it away, so that will be sine of pi over 2 add cos of pi over 2. Okay, so let's just evaluate that now. 3 times 4 is 12, take away 2 is 10, so 2 times 10 is 20. Take away, now sine of pi over 2 is 1 and cos of pi over 2 is 0, so therefore the answer to this is 19. Question 5. For what x does 2f of x equal minus g of x? Okay, so we're given f of x and we're given g of x, so what we need to do is just get a equation. So 2 times f of x, which is 3x minus 6, equals minus g of x, which is x squared minus 4. We just have to be a little bit careful with our minuses here. Okay, now all we need to do, we have a quadratic here, and all we need to do is solve it. So that means that's 6x, just expanding this bracket, 6x minus 12 equals minus x squared add 4, i.e. x squared add 6x minus 16 equals 0. And we have to now just factorise that. So that gives us x add 8, x minus 2 equals 0, i.e. there are two solutions, x equals minus 8 or x equals 2, and they are the two solutions to question 5. Okay, so let's have a look at questions 6 and 7. If you wish to do those, pause the video now. Okay, so they're getting slightly more complicated now, but again, as long as we just remember that all we got to do is just put the inputs into the outputs, then we should be okay. So f of x equals x minus 4 over x, and f of 3b equals 3f of b. So all we need to do is remember, just imagine that 3b is a smiley face. We put that in, and that's what we get out. So f of 3b equals, just replace all the x's with a 3b minus 4 over 3b, okay? And we've got to find when that equals 3f of b. Well, f of b is just putting b in instead of x. 3 times, be careful with the brackets, b minus 4 over b. Okay, so that means 3b minus 4 over 3b equals 3b minus 12 over b, and we can cancel the b here. So that gives us 3b minus 4 equals, where are we? 9b minus 36, i.e. 6b equals 32, i.e. b equals 32 over 6. So that is the answer to question 6. Question number 7. If g of y is 4ay minus add 2b, what is g of a minus g of b? Again, just don't get confused by the fact there's already a's and y's and b's in the function. All we have to do is, again, just imagine this is a smiley face. We replace the y's with a, and then we replace the y's with b. So we have g of a is 4a times a, just replacing that y with an a, add 2b, and g of b is 4ab add 2b. Then we just have to take one from the other. That's 4a squared add 2b minus bracket 4ab add 2b, which gives us 4a squared, and the b cancels out, minus 4ab, which equals 4a brackets a minus b. So that's the answer to question number 7. Okay, question number 8 and question number 9. If you want to do them first, just pause the video now. Okay, right, so h of z is az plus b. What is h of 2z minus h of z minus 2? Okay, well, just imagine the 2z is a smiley face, and then imagine that the z minus 2 is a smiley face. So we have to just put it in. So that is basically h of 2z is a times 2z add b. All we're doing here is replacing the z by 2z. And then minus, we've got to be a little bit careful with the minus sign, so let's put it in a big bracket here. A times z minus 2, all we're doing now is replacing z by z minus 2, add b, and then all we've got to do is just expand that, which equals 2az add ab, add b, sorry, that's a, 2z add, sorry, I've made a mistake there, 2z add b, my apologies. That's better. Sorry about that. A 2z add b. So that's 2az add b minus brackets az minus 2a add b, just expanding the other brackets, which equals 2az add b minus az add 2a minus b. Just got to be careful with the minus sign there, which again equals az, b's cancel, add 2a, which equals a z plus 2. And that is the answer to question 8. Okay, question 9. All right, so again, what we're given here, C is a constant, and we clearly have to find out what C is. And the way we're going to find out what C is we're given that h of 3 equals 10. And so therefore what we've got to do is we've got to stick 3 into there, and that will solve for C, and then we can find h of 2. So h of 3 equals 10, i.e. equals 3 squared add 4 times 3 add C. And so therefore from this equation we get that 10 equals 9 add 12 add C, so C equals minus 11. So therefore we know that h of x is actually x squared add 4x minus 11. And so therefore h of 2, which is actually what they're asking, all we need to do now is put 2 into it, which gives us, so h of 2 will be 2 squared add 4 times 2 minus 11, which equals which equals 1. So the answer to question 9 is 1. Okay. Question 10. Let's have a quick look at question 10. Now, question 10 is an interesting one. Just pause the video if you want to do it first. Okay, so they're saying that g of 4y is equal to 3y minus 5. So what is g of 20? Well, what do we have to do to y? What level of y do we have to input in order that 4y equals 20? We need 4y to be equal to 20 in order to find g of 20. Well, clearly, if we put y equals 5 into this, then we get g of 4 times 5, which is g of 20. So all we need to do is put y equals 5. So that gives us g of 4 times 5 equals 3 times 5 minus 5, i.e. g of 20 equals 10. And that's answer to question number 10. Okay, so now these next 5 are the following functions even, odd, or neither? And they're quite common questions. So just pause the video if you wish to answer these now. Okay, so basically, how do you test for something to be either even, odd, or 0? What you need to do is you need to find f of minus x. Now, if f of minus x equals f of x, then the function is even. If f of minus x equals minus f of x, then the function is odd. And if neither of those two are true, then the function is neither even nor odd. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. F of x equals x to the 4. So what we have to do is we have to look at f of minus x. So all we need to do is replace x by minus x, and that equals minus x to the power of 4. Well, minus anything to the power of 4, the minus cancels itself out, which equals x to the 4, which equals f of x. So therefore, f of minus x equals f of x. So this function is even. Question 12, g of x equals cos x. Again, we have to look at just what is g of minus x. Well, g of minus x is cos of minus x. Now, if we know our trigonometry, all station to crew there, we know that the positive and the negative, cos of positive is the same as cos of negative, and so cos of positive here is the same as cos of negative here. So we know that cos of minus x equals cos of x for all x, which equals g of x. And so therefore we know that g of x equals cos of x is also an even function. Okay, let's have a look at question 13. So we have to look at h of minus x. So all we need to do is replace x by minus x. That's minus x root minus x squared add 3. Well, minus x squared is just x squared. So that equals minus x root x squared add 3, which equals minus h of x. And so therefore, this function is odd. I of x equals 10. It's a little bit of a trick question, but these questions do come up in college entrance exams. I of x equals 10. So I of minus x is also 10, just because there's no x in the function, it just means it's a constant function, i.e. it's constantly at 10. So I of minus x is 10, which equals I of x. And so therefore, this is an even function, even though it's a constant. Question 15, okay, let's have a look at j of minus x. That equals minus x to the 5 minus 6. Now, minus x to the 5 is also is minus x to the 5 minus 6, which equals minus x to the 5 plus 6, which is not the same as the original function. So in actual fact, this is neither odd nor even, it is neither. Okay, that's question 15. Okay, now they're beginning to get a little bit harder now. So these will be the sort of questions that you would see towards the end of a college entrance exam. So f of x equals 2x minus 3. Oh, so I'll tell you what, 16 and 17, if you want to do them first, just pause the video. Okay, so question 16, f of x is 2x minus 3 and f of 2m is 13. What is f of 10 minus m? Okay, well, just imagine that that is a smiley face, and then we're just going to plonk it into there. So that gives us that f of 2m equals 2 times 2m minus 3, which we know is 13 because it tells us here. Okay, so therefore, i.e. 4m minus 3 is 13, i.e. m is 4. So all we need to do now is stick m in there. So f of 10 minus m equals f of 6. And f of 6, all we now need to do is put 6 into here. So f of 6 equals 2 times 6 minus 3, which equals 9. Question 17, g of y is y squared minus 1. What is g of x plus 1 minus g of x? Again, don't get confused by the fact this is y and this is x. Just imagine that this is a smiley face and this is a smiley face, and we're going to plonk x plus 1 in. So g of x plus 1 minus g of x is x plus 1 squared minus 1. We've just put x plus 1 instead of the y. Minus, now we're going to minus g of x squared minus 1. We just put x instead of y. Okay, so I'm just expanding that out. That's x squared, add 2x, add 1, minus x squared, add 1. X squareds cancel, 1 cancels, which gives us 2x, add 1. Okay, question 18. Right, so let's do question 18 and 19. If you want to do those, pause the video now. Okay, question 18. So we're given that h of x is a linear function, and we're given two of the values. So we can say that h of x, as it's linear, it equals ax plus b. That is a linear function. And we're given that h of 4 is 5. So when we put 4 in, so h of 4 equals 5, which equals 4a add b. All I've done is put the 4 in there. And we know that h of 7 equals 11, which is 7a add b. So we have two simultaneous equations here. So all we've got to do is take one away from the other, and that gives us 3a equals 6, i.e. a equals 2, and then just plugging either one of those in, we get that b equals minus 3. And so therefore h of x, which is what the question is asking, is 2x minus 3. Question 19. Now this one is a little bit of a tricky one. They're giving us f of x plus 2, and they need us to find f of x. Always, this function here, what you have to do is you have to put it in the form, instead of x's, you have to put it in the form of x plus 2's. So basically, what we need to do is we need to do complete the square on this one. So that is x plus 2 squared plus something. So let's just expand out x plus 2 squared. So x squared, x plus 2 squared is x squared, add 4x, add 4. And you can see that that is almost the same as this. We just need to add another 4. And that will give us x squared, add 4x, add 8. So x squared, add 4x, add 8 is the same as x add 2 squared, add 4. So we know that f of x plus 2 is x plus 2 squared add 4. And so therefore, given that this can be anything, it can be a smiley face, f of x equals x squared add 4. That's question 19. Okay, questions 20 and 21, if you want to pause the video now and do those. Okay, question 20. Now this one's got two inputs. It doesn't matter. There's no law that says a function can only have one input. It's got two inputs, but the theory is exactly the same. This could be a smiley face and a sad face. So we know that f of ab is a cubed b squared, and we know f of mn is 6. So if we put mn into here, we know that m cubed n squared equals 6. All I've done is I've put the m in replacing it with a and put the n in replacing b. And we want to find what is f of 3m 2m. Well, we have to put 3m instead of a and 2n instead of b. Well, so f of 3m 2n would be, putting 3m instead of a, would be 3m cubed. All I've done is replaced a with 3m times 2n squared, which is 27m cubed times 4n squared, which is 98 m cubed n squared. But we know that m cubed m squared is 6, so therefore f of 3m 2m is 98 times 6, which is that's 108, not 98, my apologies. 108 times 6, which equals 648. Okay, question 21. H of x equals x squared add 4x minus 3. What's h of a plus b? All right, again, so just imagine that this is a smiley face, and we're going to replace x with a plus b. That's all we're doing. So therefore, h of a plus b is a plus b squared add 4a plus b minus 3. And we can't really do much with that. We can probably just expand it. It depends what, maybe this is a multiple choice, so we might have to play around with it or expand it to get it as to one of the options on the multiple choice. But add 2ab, add b squared, add 4a, add 4b minus 3, maybe something like that. But that is the answer to number 21. Okay, let's have a look at number 22. Pause the video if you want to do it now. Okay, now this one is just basically all to do with how the maths is read. G plus h basically just means add the two functions together and then apply the input 3. So G plus h is basically G of y plus h of y, which equals 4y minus 3 add 2y minus 7, which is 6y minus 10. And so basically this is our new function, g plus h of y is 6y minus 10. So all we need now to do is just put the number 3 in. So g plus h of 3 is 6 times 3 minus 10, which equals 8. Now question 23, just have a quick look at this one, pause the video if you want to do it. Okay, so again, question 23, we have to just be a bit careful with our brackets here, but all we're going to be doing, just imagine, remember your smiley faces, we're going to be putting 2x in instead of x, and we're going to be putting 3x minus 6 in instead of x, and we've got an equation to solve. So, 2, h of 2x, what I'm going to do is instead of x, I'm going to put 2x, is 3 times 2x minus 5, minus 1, so that's basically 2 times h of 2x minus 1 equals equals, and we're going to put 3x minus 6 instead of x now, so that would be 3 brackets 3x minus 6, just replacing the x with 3x minus 6 in the function h of x, minus 5. Okay, so now we're going to expand that, just being a bit careful. So 3 times 2x is 6x, times 2 is 12x minus 10 minus 1 equals 9x minus 18 minus 5, i.e. 3x equals minus 12, so x equals minus 4, and that's solved the equation. Okay, and we are now on the last two, so if you want to have a quick go at those, pause the video. Okay, question 24, again, so we are given that g of c equals 31. So what we need to do is we need to put c into g of x, so that gives us c squared minus 5, all I'm doing is I'm putting c into there, equals 31, i.e. c squared equals 36, So C equals plus or minus 6. We're given that C is less than 0, so therefore we know that C equals minus 6. So then all we need to do is, what is G of C minus 2? Well, we know C is minus 6, so that is G of minus 8. And all we need to do now is put minus 8 into our function. So G of minus 8 is minus 8 squared minus 5, which equals 59. And finally, we're on the last question. If you've if you followed through all of these and you're on this last question, congratulations. So let's have a look. We have three unknowns here, a, b, and c, but we are given the value of the function with input 0, input 1, and input 3. So we are clearly going to use these three bits of information to find a, b, and c. And once we found a, b, and c, we have our function, and then all we've got to do is plug in 8. So let's have a look. So h of 0 is obviously just replacing x by 0, is a times 0 add b times 0 add c, which equals 4. We're given that. So clearly c equals 4. h of 1 is just putting 1 in. A times 1 squared add b times 1 add c, which we now know is 4. And we're given that that is equal to 2. So we know, therefore, that a add b equals minus 2. And then h of 3, which is putting 3 into here now, that is 9a add 3b add 4, and we're given that that equals 4. So therefore, we have that 9a add 3b equals 0, i.e. 3a add b equals 0. So from these two very simple equations here, we take one away from the other, and that gives us that 2a equals 2, i.e. a equals 1, and from putting a into one of these, we get that b equals minus 3. So therefore, we know that our function h of x is x squared minus 3x add 4. Now, all we've got to do to answer this question now is, what is h of 8? All we need to do is put 8 in here. So h of 8 equals 8 squared minus 3 times 8 add 4, which equals, excuse me, which equals 44 and a cough. There we go. I managed to avoid coughing until question 25. So look, anybody who's completed all these are about pretty much the sum of every single question that you're going to get on evaluating functions on college entrance exams. If you're happy with these, then you should be doing relatively well on it. In the next video, we are going to be doing functions, composite functions, questions on composite functions, which will be the third out of the 4 videos. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you very much.